Whenever I interview people for these videos, I always have some questions that I ask them specifically for them. But then oftentimes at the end, we just sit and talk about different ideas. And I find that very often that ends up being some of the best footage for these. And that happened with my friend Neal Adams. As we talked, we somehow got on the topic of communication and how important it is for a worship leader to communicate with leadership in the church, to communicate with the worship team, all of those kind of things, just to have that communication line open. But honestly, I'm kind of old school. He brought some fresh ideas into it in talking about more modern communication methods that I think would be beneficial for a lot of people. So take a look.
I had a situation not too long ago where one of our worship leaders was in a meeting with some of our leaders, and something had happened in the service, and a pastor made a joke about it, and it was really nothing, but the worship leader took it personal, and she really got upset over it. So what I really respect about that, though, is 10 minutes later, when the meeting was over, they had a conversation, and they were already working it out. And pastor said, well, I didn't really mean this, and the worship leader was like, well, I thought you meant this, and they just hashed it out. And that's where communication is so important. Communication can cut strife off at the very root, and it's so important. We've opened up a line of communication on social media, and I don't know that a lot of teams do that, but it's really helped us as far as communication and as far as meeting each other's needs. If somebody has a need, then we'll post it in the worship group, and we pray for it right away, and we all know about it, and we all know each other's needs. And I think that's really built unity in our team, because we all care about each other. Okay, so our social media conversations usually take place on Facebook Messenger. We have two groups that we normally talk in. For the worship group, we have a group for the leaders, and then we have another group that includes everybody. We have about 24 people on our worship team and audio video staff, and they're all included in that. And if I need to send out a message, I don't have to make 22 phone calls. I can just put it in there and everybody gets it right away. And it's a great way to communicate with your team. But I will say this, this is important. Sometimes emotions get lost in a text, and if it's something important that you need to discuss, then pick up the phone and call them, and don't do it over a text or messenger, because a lot of things can get miscommunicated that way.
I totally agree with Neal, the whole idea of how important communication really is for us in the worship ministry, in the church in general. I think we could alleviate a lot of problems if we communicate more. But the thing that I really want you to take away from this is, yes, communication, but along with that, if there's something that is vital, that really needs to be communicated well, that there needs to be a dialogue, get face-to-face with the person, talk to them. It's so much easier to make sure that there's nothing that's misheard, misrepresented, whatever, when you can actually talk it through and dialogue about it. So I want to challenge you. I know that's a difficult thing for a lot of younger people to do, and yet it's so absolutely necessary. So communication, and if necessary, communication directly face-to-face.
Brought to you by myworshipleadingcoach.com.
Helping you to be more fully equipped as a worship leader.